So I've been doing something most people would consider crazy. I've been trying the carnivore diet. So the carnivore diet, especially like strict carnivore, is you're essentially just eating meat and eggs and some butter, bacon, and fish, chicken. That's it. That's it. And some salt. Okay. So if you're thinking, why would I be crazy enough to just eat those things? There's actually a lot of people that do that, the carnivore diet, and most of them are doing it because they have severe autoimmune issues. I know it was used in the past for people who had migraines and people who had seizures, they would use it for. And so I just started digging into it a lot more. I love learning about nutrition and all of that, always have. And I was always a big paleo, whole 30 kind of guy, as long as it's a whole food, a one ingredient food that exists in nature, go for it. But when I started doing some digging, turns out there's some some issues with plants. And I'm just going to tell you what I've learned. And if you say, hey, Pete, there's no way that's true, then just look it up yourself if you want. Do some of your own research. But apparently there are some like anti-nutrients actually in plants, because if you think of any like prey animal, they have legs to run away. That's their defense. Or some of them have stingers, or, like different animals in the wild can defend themselves somehow. Plants can't. They're a living creature that gets eaten that can't run away. Some of them have like the stingy barbs on them, or like they can give you a rash on your skin. But other than that, they're stuck there. So they've developed anti-nutrients, toxins, to defend themselves from predators, so that they don't all get eaten, because they want to live, right? So there's like I don't have them all written down, but again, feel free to go do your own research. But certain things like lectins, and there's insecticides, things that kill insects when they eat them. And if you just think kind of objectively about, if you, a human, get dropped off in the middle of the jungle or the middle of the woods, you can't just walk around and eat whatever plant you want, because a lot of them are not good for humans, right? They mess up your stomach because they have those defense chemicals in them so that they don't get eaten. And then you add in that most, if not all, like commercially farmed plants, vegetables, fruits are getting sprayed so heavily with like glyphosate, which is known to cause cancer. Like all the Monsanto stuff that I'm sure a lot of you have heard of. And all these other like pesticides to kill pests, pesticide killed pests. So these essentially toxins, poisons are getting sprayed on all of our plants that we eat. Even if they're plants that aren't otherwise like necessarily that bad for us to eat. Fruits and vegetables are getting sprayed all the time. So there's all these things that are kind of red flags for plants. And then another thing is our brain works well on carbs, but our body can make carbs without needing to eat them. It's called gluconeogenesis. So our body can make carbohydrates out of other macronutrients in our body. Pretty cool. But we can't survive without protein and fat, but we can survive without glucose or carbs, basically. And a lot of people would argue that your brain and heart actually thrive and survive much better without carbs, because then your body starts making ketones and you also start running on fat. So your body can only hold so many calories of carbs at any one time. Anyone who's run long distance understands that you hit the wall at some point when you're running, and all your energy is gone. And then you start burning fat because you've run out of all of the storage of carbs that are in your body, okay? If you do keto or carnivore diet, you're not giving your body almost any carbs, maybe zero carbs, and your body forces itself to learn how to run on fat, which it can do very well. It just takes a while if you're not doing that for your body to adapt to be able to do that. Okay. But once you are fat adapted to the point where you can burn fat for fuel, one, if you look into this, carnivore at all, everybody that does this loses an incredible amount of weight incredibly fast. One, because you lose a ton of water weight. But the other one is your body starts using fat for its fuel efficiently and all the time. And so any fat reserves that you have just start getting eaten up. And just for example, so I've been doing this for 3 weeks, and I'm down, I think in the last 3 weeks, I'm down 12 pounds. And I didn't have too much weight to lose. And I'm also down like 4% body fat. So that's just a reference point for me. And I wasn't really doing it to try to lose weight. My main reasons for trying were, one, self-experiment. Like I've heard about it. I thought it was kind of crazy and wild, but I did some digging into it, some research into it, and it sounded very interesting. So if nothing else, I want to try it and see if it's worth the hype kind of thing. But a few other things is apparently your inflammation goes way down, which is why people with autoimmune issues do it. So I have had plantar fasciitis on and off most of my life, and I know it always gets worse whenever I eat like gluten or too much sugar or dairy or things like that, like milk or whatever, or ice creams, whatever. So it would always get worse. It would flare up. And the other thing is just energy levels. I've heard that energy levels are incredible, and like you don't crash, you're not like you have energy all day when you're on this carnivore diet, because again, your body can only store so much carbs, and then you run out, you burn out, you crash. But your body, even like thin, skinny people, have hundreds of thousands of calories that they can burn at any moment, at any time. You just need to be able to like access it, like turning the key in the lock to unlock your access to all this energy that's on us. The problem, it's not necessarily a problem, but the struggle is, it really is a struggle to get your body to switch, okay? So if you were born and all you ever ate was, the carnivore diet, meat and fats and like healthy animal meats, right? Then you wouldn't need to switch over because you're already there for forever. You're in like ketosis and your body's making ketones and you're running on fat and you're super efficient and you never get tired, right? Allegedly. I'm still trying to see if this is all true. But most of us, probably 99% of us, have been eating at least fruits and vegetables, which is carbs. So our body is going to use that first, and then when we run out, we start switching over to fat. All right. So I've been doing carnivore for like 3 weeks now, and I'm just going to give you a quick, brief overview of my first 2 weeks. So week 1 and 2 were really bad. I had nausea, like I felt like I was going to throw up for a couple of days. Not fun. Headaches, really bad, like tension headaches, like all the way up into my neck and into my head, like crazy, weird dreams that were just very intense, like not like, it was very strange. What else? Fatigue, like really tired, because your body is switching energy sources. You're switching your fuel source, and it takes your body a while. One thing I wanted to note too is, oftentimes when you're going on a diet, you're cutting out all the junk food and you have addictions. So the addictions usually take about 7 to 10 days-ish, like the withdrawal symptoms, for those to go away. And I've done that a bunch with like eating good. Okay, now I eat junk, like cycling like that. So I've been through that, and usually 7 to 10 days of withdrawals from junk food. However, I was eating pretty clean before this, and this isn't necessarily a withdrawal thing. It's a fuel source thing. So I'm not necessarily going through like carb withdrawal. I think that's a small piece of it because I still had like fruits and vegetables, of course. So partially carb withdrawal, but mostly my body and brain and heart, everything is just like, okay, we got to start like chipping away at like becoming efficient at using fat as a fuel source. So I'm like halfway through week 3 and I'm starting to feel much better. If anyone's interested in doing this, just while I'm thinking of it, look up these 3 people, doctors that are doing this. Dr. Anthony Chafee, Dr. Ken Berry, and Dr. Sean Baker. 3 real doctors that have seen incredible benefits, not just for them, but for their patients. They all look great. They're all in great shape. And if you watch their videos, which I've done to help me get through like these first couple tough weeks, every single comment is somebody who said, I went carnivore and it changed my life. I'm never going back. I went carnivore. I'm 52. I'm down 70 pounds. I'm not exaggerating. Like every comment is somebody saying how their life changed for the better under these people's videos. So that's just something I couldn't really ignore. And if you want some like anecdotal YouTube evidence, I think it's Homestead How is a channel, and his name is Carrie, and he's so enthusiastic about it. It really gets me excited and helps keep me going. Anyways, so I was told that there's going to be like unlimited energy after a month-ish of doing this, which I'm getting close, and I'm looking forward to hopefully that being true. I've told that like brain fog is completely gone. You're just functioning as almost like a superhuman. And I know this probably sounds crazy. Why would anyone just eat meat? But I thought that too. So if that's any comfort, I agree if that's your thought. That was my thought also. I was like, oh no, you absolutely need your vegetables. You have to have your vegetables, and your fruit is good for you, right? Just please, if you're curious and you're like, oh, there's just no way, just watch those doctors and give it some time, because even listening to them, I was like, this can't really be. And the more I listened and the more I dug into it, the more research, the more I'm like, okay, maybe we're just so brainwashed that maybe this could be a thing. And I could be wrong, but I'm going to give it a real go and just see if I get those benefits that apparently are amazing. Because endless energy, I think anyone would agree, sounds like a good deal. To be able to work all day, come home, spend time with the family, and not be burnt out, that's enough. Even if there were no other benefits, I'll take it. But yeah, I heard no brain fog. A lot of autoimmune issues going away, like because inflammation goes way down, so your joints don't hurt anymore. All sorts of like crazy benefits that I heard. So that's mostly why I did it. I wanted to see if it would help with my plantar fasciitis. That kind of comes and goes. I wanted to see if the energy being super high was real and true. And yeah, they said roughly a month for all the best things to start happening, and I'm like 3-ish weeks in, so I'm getting close. But carnivore diet, if you're curious, if you want to even improve your life at all, I'd look into it. It's also, it's incredibly simple, right? So obviously there's like only a handful of things that you can eat, and you'd think that'd be like a drag, but it's actually super nice because there's almost no planning. Like I go to the grocery store, I look for any discounted beef, whether it's ground beef or steak, eggs, butter, bacon. That's it. So it's really simple. So it takes all the thinking out of it. And also, this is another thing that is a huge benefit. The cravings are gone. Cravings go away. Like your sugar cravings and your thoughts about food. So I'm a foodie, I'm a food addict, sugar addict for sure. And usually when I'm eating normal, I'm thinking about food like 50% of the day. Either I'm eating, I just ate and I'm thinking about how good that was, or I'm starting to get hungry for my next treat, snack, meal, whatever. And if you're kind of a food addict, you know what I'm talking about. Most of your day is encompassed with you thinking about, when is my next snack? What's it gonna be? What's gonna be for dinner? All of these things, which can be stressful and burdensome, right? That's gone. I almost never think about food. I get a little hungry in the morning. I have like some steak and eggs or leftovers from dinner the night before. And then I don't think about food until like dinner time because I'm so full. You get so satiated, like protein and fat from like especially red meat is so filling that I just don't think about food all day, and it's so freeing. Again, if you're a food addict, sugar addict, you know what I'm talking about. It's freeing. Like I have so much more time. That's another thing. Like a side benefit is you just have more time in your day because you're not constantly prepping food and constantly thinking about food and cleaning up the last like meal. You only got to eat once or twice a day, and that's plenty. Anyways, there's tons of questions that people go over for like, oh, how do you get started? I don't want to make this video too long, so I'm not going to do that right now. But there's lots of like Carnivore 101 things. Things to touch on would be like your electrolytes, because you pee out a lot of water, you pee out a lot of electrolytes when you start, so you got to supplement just to start until you get over that first hump of the first couple weeks. Making sure you eat enough fat, because most of us don't know, but then you're switching to fat as your fuel, so you got to eat more fat than you think you need to. And there's a couple other things, but yeah, it's very interesting, very different, kind of, it sounds extreme, but it's actually very simple. And once I got through like the first 2 weeks, like now it doesn't seem extreme to me. And I don't feel like putting any other food in my mouth, in my belly, because I don't want it to like ruin how I'm starting to feel, if that makes sense. And then finally, my last thing is my intent also was to do this as like a reset. So like I'll get back to my like baseline, all my inflammation is gone, and feeling great. And then I can slowly add in like one food at a time. Like I'll add back in avocados and just see. I eat what I'm eating right now plus avocados for like a week. And if I feel the same or better, cool. Avocados are awesome. But if I can like feel a negative reaction, I know it's the avocados, right? And you say, oh, there's no way anyone could have it. Some people have weird food reactions, especially people with autoimmune issues, and I have autoimmune issues in my family. So this is going to be kind of my trial and error for kind of the rest of my life, which is exciting because I only have to do this once, and I can find out what my body reacts positively and negatively to. So I'll do this for like a month, maybe 6 weeks, till it's like all clean and fresh and reset. And then I'll add one thing in 1 week at a time, just one food, one individual food. And I'll see how my body reacts. And then I'll know for sure if I should or shouldn't have that food for the rest of my life. Because I'd rather like not make food my life. Because if you think of it, a lot of people know, everyone knows that eating healthy would make their life better. Like they'd feel better, they'd lose weight, they'd have better energy. But the food addiction is so strong, they'd rather have the junk food and have their life be worse. And I've been there too. I'm a food addict. I'm a sugar addict. I get it. But now I'm at a point where I'd rather not. I'd rather have my life be awesome and not have those foods that make me feel like junk. So I want to find out what every single one of those foods are, and then I'll have that knowledge for the rest of my life so that I can feel the best forever and like be energetic and healthy when I have grandkids, you know. So I'm in it for the long haul. Anyways, carnivore diet, don't write it off as completely crazy because it does sound that way, but it just might be the best thing you've ever looked into in your entire life. Think about it. I hope you have a great day.